It all started with a question that no one dared to voice out loud. Candace Owens, fearless and unapologetic as always, didn't just throw shade at Meghan Markle. Oh no, she went straight for the jugular. She didn't talk about another failed Netflix show or one of Meghan's endless complaints about the royals. She dug deeper, way deeper, into Meghan's carefully polished image. Candace dropped a claim so shocking it left even her loyal viewers gasping. She suggested Meghan might have had a child as a teenager, possibly at 17, a daughter now grown, hidden from the world for decades. Not some tragic custody story, not a misunderstood family drama, but a deliberate cover-up. If true, this wasn't just a scandal. It was the unraveling of everything Meghan had built her brand upon: family, motherhood, compassion. And just like that, Meghan's glittering facade cracked. Think about it. Meghan has built her career on being the mother who cradles baby bumps like golden trophies, the protector who sues tabloids to shield her children, the woman who lectures the world about compassion and family. But if she truly abandoned a firstborn daughter, how does that image hold? This wasn't just gossip anymore. It was brand suicide. And the timing, brutal. Spotify had already dumped her. Netflix was bleeding subscribers from Harry and Meghan. Mockery was piling high. The only thing she had left, her role as a doting mother, was suddenly under fire. Candace didn't just throw the allegation into the air, she brought timelines. Meghan claims she was born in 1981, but if she graduated high school in 1994, that would make her 13 years old at graduation. Impossible. The math screams something is off. Either Meghan lied about her age or she lied about her graduation year. And then came the whispers of a rushed Las Vegas chapel wedding in 1994, right after high school. A no-frills ceremony. The kind of panicked, rushed decision that follows a late period and a very frightening phone call. Was it speculation? Sure. But speculation that fit the timeline. And in gossip, fitting the timeline is deadly. Candace's broadcast lit the internet on fire. Hashtags trended, TikToks exploded, Reddit threads spiraled out of control. Hidden daughter became the obsession of the week. People dug up old interviews trying to piece together Meghan's inconsistencies. Why had her high school timeline always felt hazy? Why were there so many birth date confusions? The silence from Meghan made it even worse. Normally she's front and center with a carefully staged photo op, a glowing Archewell statement, or a dramatic Oprah interview. But this time, nothing, just silence. And that silence roared louder than any denial ever could. Insiders whispered that Meghan was raging behind the scenes, furious. Legal threats were allegedly being drafted. Cease and desist letters rumored to be flying toward YouTubers, bloggers, even Candace herself, but still no public statement. And in the absence of denial, speculation only multiplied. Fans began posting side-by-side photos of Meghan and women in their late 20s and early 30s, pointing out uncanny resemblances. Was this the missing daughter? No one could prove anything, but proof didn't matter anymore. Engagement was the new currency, and Meghan's image was bankrupting fast. One clip of Candace resurfaced and spread like wildfire. What kind of woman walks away from her child, then sells herself to the world as a perfect mother? That line hit like a sledgehammer. It wasn't gossip, it was a challenge, a demand for accountability. And suddenly, people weren't asking whether Meghan was bullied by the royals. They were asking if Meghan had been lying to the world from the very beginning. If the rumors were true, had she ever tried to reconnect with this daughter? Did the daughter know her mother was a global celebrity? Did she watch year after year as Meghan built her empire on motherhood while erasing her existence? And if Candace's hint was right, was she living quietly in Chicago right now, watching the circus unfold? This wasn't just Meghan's mess. It dragged Harry right into the mud. Did he know about this daughter? Did Meghan confess before their wedding? Or had he been used as a prop in her carefully staged reinvention? People began to notice Harry's vacant stares in public appearances. Was he broken? Checked out? The son of Diana, the man who accused his own family of cruelty, now accused of hiding his wife's darkest secret. The hypocrisy was suffocating. And the royals, oh, you can imagine the smirks behind palace gates. After years of lectures from Meghan and Harry about compassion, kindness, and morality, the so-called Duchess of Authenticity was being painted as the greatest pretender of them all. This wasn't just one scandal. It was the reopening of every little inconsistency Meghan had ever told. She said she never Googled Harry before meeting him, yet old blog posts suggest otherwise. She claimed she didn't know how to curtsy before the Queen, but her school taught theater etiquette. She distanced herself from her father's side of the family, but childhood photos tell a different story. Individually, those fibs might have been brushed off, but in the shadow of a hidden child, they suddenly felt like red flags pointing to a pattern. The fallout was swift. Hollywood, once eager to embrace Meghan, began to back off. Executives stopped taking her calls. Netflix meetings dried up. Spotify wouldn't touch her. Publicists quietly walked away. No one wanted to be associated with an unraveling brand. Even Meghan's lifestyle venture, With Love Meghan, which was already mocked mercilessly, became toxic. The woman who had once promised to be the new Diana now looked like a failed actress clinging to half-truths and staged paparazzi strolls. And here's the final twist: the trap Meghan cannot escape. If she sues Candace Owens, she opens herself up to a courtroom where facts matter. Birth certificates, dates, marriage records, things that can't be spun by PR teams. But if she stays silent, the rumor wins by default. Either way, she loses, and the internet knows it. Every day she stays quiet, the whispers grow louder, the questions grow sharper, and the trust crumbles further. If this hidden daughter ever steps forward, Meghan's carefully constructed empire, royal, Hollywood, humanitarian, motherly, collapses overnight. Not just as a celebrity, not just as a royal, but as a woman who built an entire identity on what might have been a lie. And behind the gates of Montecito, insiders say Meghan is spiraling. Furious at Candace, furious at Harry, furious at the world. But fury doesn't erase doubt. And now, for the first time, Meghan Markle is trapped in a silence she cannot control. Perhaps the most heartbreaking twist for Meghan wasn't the critics piling on, it was the fans who started backing away. These weren't trolls hiding behind avatars. These were the same people who had once defended her fiercely, who had written essays about the racism she endured, who had flooded social media with #we love you, Meghan hashtags whenever the tabloids went after her. But after Candace's broadcast, even loyal supporters hesitated. The comment sections shifted tone. I defended her for years, but this, if it's true, I feel betrayed. We excuse so much, but a hidden child? That's too far. It wasn't anger at first. It was disappointment. And in celebrity culture, disappointment is far deadlier than hate. Hate fuels clicks, but disappointment starves engagement. Fans started walking away. Usually, Meghan's crisis playbook is predictable. Step 1, play the victim. Step 2, sit down with a sympathetic interviewer. Oprah, Gayle King, anyone willing to nod along as she wipes away tears. Step 3, deliver a speech about compassion, trauma, and truth. But this time, the playbook was useless. How do you cry about generational trauma while ignoring whispers of abandoning your own child? How do you beg for compassion while being accused of showing none? Her silence wasn't just strange, it was strategic. But silence in the gossip world doesn't close doors, it blows them wide open. The palace, of course, has stayed officially silent. That's the royal way. But sources close to the family whispered that the Windsors were quietly gloating. For years, Meghan and Harry lectured them about morality, about racism, about outdated traditions. And now, Meghan's the one accused of rewriting her own history, stage managing her own life, hiding truths that, if exposed, would end everything. Imagine the smirks over afternoon tea at Windsor Castle. Charles shaking his head, William raising an eyebrow. Even Camilla, often the butt of gossip herself, now sitting smug knowing Meghan was finally the bigger scandal. Meanwhile, the online sleuths doubled down. Reddit threads turned into digital crime scenes. TikTokers slowed down old interviews, hunting for slips of the tongue. Amateur genealogists searched through archives for marriage records in Nevada. One viral theory suggested Meghan's actual birth year wasn't 1981 but 1977. Another TikTok claimed to have found a blurred yearbook photo of a girl who looked exactly like Meghan, next to a boy later rumored to be her teenage flame. Were these credible? Not at all. Did it matter? Absolutely not. In the court of public opinion, engagement is king, and Meghan had no control over the narrative anymore. For Harry, the stakes couldn't be higher. His entire persona, Diana's son, the wounded boy who lost his mother, the man desperate to protect his wife and children, was now compromised. If Meghan had kept this daughter a secret from him, he looks like a fool. If he knew and helped keep it hidden, he looks like a hypocrite. And here's where the gossip storm settles into something darker, something heavier. What if Meghan's daughter is real? What if somewhere, right now, there's a woman in her late 20s or early 30s watching all of this unfold? Watching Meghan cradle Archie and Lilibet for the cameras while wondering why she herself was erased? If that daughter ever comes forward, Meghan's empire ends overnight. No Netflix, no Spotify, no speaking tours, no glossy magazine covers. Not even a palace scandal would compare. Because this isn't about titles, crowns, or royal protocol. It's about the most primal bond of all. A mother and a child. And if Meghan Markle truly abandoned hers, then everything she built, every speech, every tearful interview, every staged photo, crumbles into dust. Behind Montecito's gates, she may still rage, still scheme, still strategize. But outside those gates, the world has already decided. Meghan Markle, once the woman who promised to change the monarchy, may have just destroyed her own legacy instead.